police presence here, because what we can confirm is that a person of interest has been apprehended at this moment in time. So we're going to take a little look over here. It is quite dark, I will warn you, over here in the hills, but what we did see is multiple police officers trudging up in this dark area, and they did apprehend one person of interest that was taken into custody from the nearby hill above the west side, which is also below TV Hill in the area that is heavily scorched. So just below that area and just below that Loma Alta Drive area. And we believe this may have been a homeless encampment. We cannot confirm that at this moment in time, but there was what looked like a living quarters up there in the hills. And this is right around the spot where this wind-whipped Loma Fire took off earlier this evening. So obviously a lot more details that we're going to have to figure out at this moment in time. But as you can just see, look at all of the police cars parked on this street, West Ortega. It is completely closed off to the public right now, as there is a heavy police presence and activity going on as they search for a potential subject of interest that has to do with this Loma Fire that started tonight around 8:30. Reporting live in Santa Barbara, I'm News Channel reporter Blake Devine.
Thank you, Blake, for that developing news tonight. Let's now go live to John Palmentary. John.
Well, this fire is certainly far from being fully controlled. They have some good containment lines about the area from Loma Alta to the top of TV Hill, and then flanked not quite all the way over to Cornell. The homes there were spared, and the other side about mid-slope is where it was. If you were to draw a line straight down from the TV station looking from the city and go to the left, that's where the bulk of this fire has burned, about 20 acres. And when that fire started, it was bending to the left or to the southeast, and that's where the aggressive nature of the fire was. That's where the embers were being tossed. That's where the home got an ember wash and damage. That's where the fear factor was. It's where all the evacuations were taking place right out of the gate. Let's take a look now at engine 372 or 72 and 319 from Santa Barbara County. Crews are up in the hills right now on TV Hill, and they've got a line. Look how steep that is right there. And they've had to climb straight up there with hose lines connecting it and getting up there with hand tools, chainsaws, and more to engage any of the hot spots that are left up there. And from here over to the right, we've got hand crews using a lot of chainsaws to cut the brush down, and also to engage the hot spots and then get down to the mineral soil so nothing reignites. One of the worst things that could happen is a fire start below them. As you know, this fire burns rapidly uphill, so they have a lot of spotters and a lot of communications to make sure that the firefighters that are working up there are working in safe areas and that they absolutely know what's going on around them. Okay, around here, if you look over to the far end, we've not only got engine 72 from Santa Barbara, but that's a Ventura County 25 down there, and 25's been spraying out some of the hot spots that come down. Now, along the hillside down there, we can't see it from here, there was also some debris that came down, and we saw what would be rudimentary things that would be forms of encampments. There were some cups, some cans, and other items that looked like people might have been eating or living or sleeping up in that area. The cause of this fire is not known. Firefighters here have an investigative team here, and as you know, not only do we have TV Hill, but down below here is the west side of Santa Barbara, and just down a ways there was some spotting of this fire, it looked like, that went over the side as well, and that's another concern. If the winds would have shifted and the fire would have gone down here, look at the populated area down here on San Pasqual Street, Canna Perdido, Ortega, De La Guerra, and this portion of the west side is densely populated. I'm sure they were very, very scared when this fire broke out and they saw the hill full of flames and going up towards the structures and the TV station this evening. So right now the firefighters are going to be here all night long. You can rest assured they're going to be here in the morning and go through this to make sure every hot spot's out. They walk it, they do an aerial, they use special equipment, infrared, to look for hot spots, and then they water it down. They're not going anywhere for many, many hours, and they're going to stay on here, especially if we have winds. That's the latest from Loma Alta, right below the TV station and right above the west side, where this fire burned 20 acres damaged at least one home. Fortunately, no injuries that we know about, and the cause remains under investigation. Reporting live on the scene, I'm John Palmentary.
Thank you, John. And the winds are expected to be an issue overnight. Kelsey Gerkins, our chief meteorologist, has more on that in the First Alert Weather Center.
Positive news at this hour. We're currently seeing those winds in the single digits. Now, this is where the fire started, and it has been pushing to the southeast, and that's what we've been seeing. This is Loma Alta Drive. Here is Miramonte, where our TV station is. So as we take a look at some of these wind speeds, where this fire currently is, we're seeing them in the single digits. So some really positive news there. It does get a little bit higher as you get a little bit closer to the ocean, but this is good news when it comes to this firefight. It will stay windy, though, overnight. We have that wind advisory in place until we get to 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. We're going to see those sustained winds throughout the Santa Barbara South Coast area in the double digits for most of tonight, looking at 15 to 20 miles per hour as we go into those overnight hours. That's why that wind advisory is in place, Scott. Friday is another windy day, but those strongest winds came tonight with that sundowner wind event. So at least we are getting a little bit of relief from what it was like earlier today.
Yeah, it certainly was a very harrowing scene out there in the 9 o'clock hour tonight. We were forced to evacuate our television station, but we were told that things were all clear in this area around 10 o'clock. And again, forward progress has been stopped. Evacuations expected to be lifted here shortly. For those who need it, the Ledbetter Beach parking lot has resources available now. We have continuing coverage online and on air. You can always go to our website, KEYT.com, or our mobile app. And we'll be back here again at 1 a.m. with another update.
Your news channel for breaking news updates on air and on all your devices.